What's up everybody, and welcome to the second video about loops in Python. And in the previous video we saw how while loops worked. In this video we'll talk about for loops. So to those of you who are familiar with Java, the for loop syntax in or the for loop semantics in Python is similar to for each loop in Java that was introduced from version 1.5 and above. So let's get started and let's look at how it's used in Python. So the syntax goes like this: you write the for keyword, and then there's an element, and then you write the in keyword, and then there's an iterable. You give a colon, and then there's a body. So the element here is the loop variable. The iterable is it could be any data structure which has the ability to return its elements one by one. For example, it could be a string, a list, a dictionary, a set, a tuple, etc. But we'll talk about more of those data structures in the future videos. But for now, let's just confine our examples to string and list. So, and this would be the body. So in the body, you would write whatever code you want to repeat any number of times. So following that syntax, let's write a code where, okay, so let's create a string first. So let's call it s and store something in it. So we're going to store Python, and we'll say for character in s. So you can see that character is the element, s is the iterable, you give the colon, and then you can do anything with the character. So you can say maybe print character. If you do that, you can see that it's printing characters one by one on the screen. So that's one example. It could be anything. I mean, if instead of a string it had been maybe, let's say, a list. So a list is it's like a sequence of elements. It's like an array, but it's kind of different because it's a referential data structure. So, but we'll talk more about those later, so don't worry. So let's say that it has some elements separated by comma: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. That's it. Okay. And we want to find the sum of all of those numbers. So what we can do is we can create a variable. We can call it maybe count or total. We can initialize it with 0, and what we can do is we can start accumulating the sum of all the characters, except they're not characters this time, they're numbers. So let's say for numbers in s, or for number in s, and we say total is equal to total plus number. So, and in the end, let's print the total. So with this code we can find the sum of all the elements of the list. So let's run that, and we find it's printing 49. So we can check it. Plus 1, 4, 9, 7, 16, 16 plus 9, 25, 25 plus 11, 36, 36 plus 13, 49. Yes, so it's correct. Okay. What else can we do? Well, we can do a bunch of other things. Maybe we want to find the maximum element in the list. So we can say maximum is equal to 0, and what we can say is if maximum is less than number, then maximum is equal to number. Actually, let's initialize it with okay, I guess that would work for this example. Okay, so let's run that, and let's say print maximum, and if we print that, we see that the maximum element is 13. Okay, we can also do the same thing for minimum, but I'm not gonna write that down. I'm gonna okay, so I would recommend you to write that code so you can find the minimum of the list. With the same logic, instead of less than number, you would have to use greater than number, and that's working because every time you would encounter a number which is in s, which is greater than maximum, then what you want to do is you want to replace whatever value is stored in the maximum variable, and you want to replace it with that number. So that's essentially what we're doing here. So whenever the number would be something, whenever we would encounter a number in the list which is greater than maximum, we're going to store that number in maximum, and we're going to keep doing that till we reach the end of the list, and then eventually after the end of the list we'll end up with the maximum value in the maximum variable, and that's how it's working. So let's write another code, another example. So let's say that we want to, okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, let's find, I'm thinking of examples. Okay, so let's find all the vowels. Let's find how many vowels there are in a string. Yeah, so let's call it sentence, and we can write Python is awesome. Okay, and we're going to define another variable which would be vowels, and we would store a, e, I, o, u in it. Okay, and we'll say for character in sentence. So the iterable here is this sentence, Python is awesome, and this is our loop variable, which we are going to check, and we can check it using the in operator. So we are going to see how this in operator works. We're going to say if character in vowels. So what this in variable is, or this in keyword is doing here, it's checking if the character is present in the vowels string. So we're going to start from Python. We're going to start from P, because we are breaking the string down to characters. So it's going to check P. If P is in A, E, I, O, U, but P isn't in it, so it's not going to execute whatever we write here. And then it's going to check for Y, which is not in this string either, T, H, O, but O is in there, so we are going to execute whatever code we write here. So let's go ahead and create another variable, vowel count, and let's initialize it with 0, and we are going to say vowel count plus is equal to 1 every time we encounter a vowel in the sentence. And if we print vowel count in the end, you can see that it's giving us the result 6. So let's see if that's right. So H, O, that's 1, O is 1, I is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's correct. So we are finding all the vowels, and we can find the total count of all the vowels in our sentence. Perfect. And there's you can find all the consonants. Yeah, also you can find all sorts of things, and there's many examples. So I would recommend you to try more examples, and that's the basics of how the for loops work. Maybe I'll make another video about how indexed for loops work. But before that, I would have to introduce you to the range function in Python. So I'm not introducing that right now. So, well, stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.